Welcome back everyone, and it's time to go balls deep. And you know what time it is. It's a Black Clover video, so that means it's time for balls deep prediction magic.
Woo! It's showtime!
As you guys know, my magic takes a lot of mana, and at this point, we have talked about countless situations that can occur for the story of Black Clover to make sense. The ones I want to give more details are regarding a possibility of a spy and Dante's plan with the Arcane mages as he is capturing them for a greater purpose. But I will also cover chapters 249 and 250 as Tabata, the creator of the show, is trying to highlight the massive power increase of every character after the 6-month time skip. So starting off with chapter 249, Leo is shown to be struggling against Vanica's dark disciple, who is a sniper. Like MAGE bodied the spirit guardian that supposedly was so strong, and the people are starting to panic because guess what? The disciple is 360 no-scoping bitches out here, and Leo is getting frustrated not knowing where it's coming from. The sniper explains how his magic works, which is called Gato Balapala. How do I even pronounce this, bruh? I'm gonna give this one try, guys, and if I get this right, you have to smash the like button. Kato Blipas. The sniper explains how his magic works, which is called Catoblipas Evil Eye. Eye is so powerful that can identify your location, magic, and stamina. He even states he has balls deep prediction based on gazing on someone's movements of their muscles. So, I don't know who he's explaining to since the area is so vast and no one can hear him. Like, he's basically doing an info dump, and he's a sniper on top of that that's giving away his position and the secret. Like, bruh, honestly, he reminded me of that one Shazam scene where the idiot villain thinks the guy can hear him.
Games, boy. Are you making some my big evil guy speech right now?
Now, one thing I do love about this chapter was the development put in place for Leo. Not only did he finally get a power-up after 200 plus chapters, but he also got an explanation as to why he's only gotten it now. So Leo has a flashback to Fire Spirit Guardian Flogger, where women such as Five Leaf of Despair told me he's hella sexy and I have a crush on him. Why no one have a crush on me?
You serious?
The Spirit Guardian tells Leo he seems to hesitate whenever he is fighting. Leo confirms this to be true when he says it is likely due to the fact that he feels so inferior to his brother and sister, Fugo Leon and Mary Leona, that he cannot feel proud of any skills he gains without believing he'll never be as good as them. Flogger tells Leo despite his shortcomings, he is still very skilled and should focus on himself without worrying about being like his brother and sister since he himself is Leo. Leo turns to taking this advice by telling himself to focus on the battle at hand and his own strength. With what happens next, we can see Flogger did not get defeated in vain, as his training and mental support allowed Leo to be comfortable in his fighting to defeat the disciple. Now I have to wonder, how strong could Leo have been if he didn't have this mental block earlier on? Would he have been as strong as Locke or Noelle now? This is similar where in chapter 242, Asta pretty much confirms he holds back his power since when he's angry, the negative emotions can take over, but he holds them down. Anyway, the enemy keeps yapping off that he's never been injured in a battle and he's sucking his own D at his merits at this point. But Leo detects him as he figures out that although he's changing position, the amount of distance between the both of them isn't changing at all. Which means if he does an area of effect spell that would cover the entire area, the dude would lose by default. So obviously Leo does just that and obliterates the entire area with his newfound rune magic.
Of course!
The Dark Disciples know what rune magic is, by the way, as he says, "What is this massive array?
What the fuck just happened? Explain it to me!"
So they are more knowledgeable than we think. But everyone says to Leo that they never seen anything that huge before.
That's what she said.
Okay, that was immature. Edit that out, please. Edit that last joke out. Anyway, the simp sniper doesn't like pain, but Leo says, nah fam, you hurt innocent people up in this bitch. You cannot complain. If you were in a war, prepared to get hurt, bitch. And he point blank blasts him with fire, burning him like KFC fried chicken. We are all invited to this BBQ Sunday, my guy, my fam. Yes, you watching the video, you awesome Black Clover fans that are gonna smash that like button right now.
No!
Guys, please can you support my channel by liking the video, hitting the notification bell because we cover this series weekly. Let's try and get 20,000 likes to recharge my mana and maybe, I don't know, buy that Asta merch. Look how lit it is. So many of you have bought it already and I can't believe it. I thank you for all the support, and right now there is 5% off at the moment if you use the code ABDASTA. Go check it out when you can. So everyone's power up in the time skip is absolutely insane, in a bad and good way.
What the fuck?
First off, I want to get the negativity out of the way and admit some more confusion I have about the power scaling. I'm hoping the anime explains things to me, or are we meant to believe that everyone is a prodigy in this generation? Now I know some of you guys are gonna rage in the comments and can't take any sort of criticism when you're a fan of a show. But joking aside, I do want to be transparent as much as possible. We should all respect each other's opinions since we are such a great community, right? There are always two sides to a coin. Basically, Leo pretty much being confirmed to be stronger than the Fire Spirit Guardian Flogger, more like fodder, am I right?
No.
But many, including myself, had felt the Spirit Guardians had lost due to elemental disadvantage, right? Well, this is pretty much confirmed not to be the case, as Heart Kingdom specializes in natural magic and thus utilizing nature's mana to create runes to use true magic. So they basically had the same shit that our Clover trainees had, minus Asta of course. Now, how could they possibly lose unless they were ambushed? Which could have been the case since in chapter 239, Laura Pachika, the Heart Queen, was the only one who noticed Vanica and her disciples suddenly arriving at the Heart Kingdom. Even Udine, the water spirit whose combined mana zone borders the entire country, mind you, somehow didn't notice their arrival, but this is proven false when Svenkin, the dark disciple of chapter 247, states he suspected the Guardians would have put up more of a fight, implying that they were known to be strong by the world and had notification. The only conclusion left is that the Clover and Spade Kingdom are the only countries with a well-equipped military system, and the generation of Clover Knights we are watching are all prodigies. I mean, think about it. Heart Kingdom basically has no military, and Diamond Kingdom got yeeted twice within the story. Even Yuno earlier on, when he was weaker, destroyed a powerful Diamond Mage. So we have this absolutely dominating Spade Kingdom, and it appears only Clover mages have the manpower and skill to go nearly toe-to-toe with them. It does make sense considering Heart was stated to be a neutral territory in good relations with the Clover Kingdom. However, Laura Pachika was so hyped up, especially when they said she and Garja fought Majukula themselves. But now she's terrified of some dark disciples? Where could it have all gone so wrong?
That don't make no sense.
As we proved in our last video that the level system doesn't really equate to power. Go watch that video if you want to be on the same page as the community. But the Heart Queen did say that a kingdom's power is valued upon how many level 0 mages that they have. But according to the story so far, it seems the Heart Kingdom is weak as hell and was overvalued in power. However, guys, overall the story still makes sense, since everything that I'm explaining now gives reason why the Heart Queen needs Asta and the others, as well as the Clover Kingdom alliance, and why she sought them out on purpose by allowing them to visit. Remember how she made sure Asta visited the country and asked them to lend all their power in a war to get rid of her curse, because she knows at the end of the day her kingdom would have failed. Look at this power scaling, fam. Anyway, a couple of questions I want answered is, how did the Heart Queen know about Zagrid, the devil that they fought, and other events? Like, she read the manga, fam.
Hey yo Terry, fuck going on?
Also, another question that should be in everyone's mind is, how could the Dark Triad know everything about the Magic Knight squad bases and do a surprise attack on all of them at the same time so easily? This just points towards the Dark Triad having a spy. Think about it using balls deep magic with big brain. If Dante somehow supposedly knew the Black Bull base was located in the middle of nowhere, which it was, without the knowledge of a spy or some sort of other magic to gain this knowledge that he had, then why didn't he just go there when Yami was actually present from the very beginning and not be shocked at all with all these new waifus that have arcane magic and he's licking his lips for them. I mean, this dude is the manifestation of evil that planned this attack, right? The knowledge that they have regarding the magic knights must be from a source that cannot get it 100% correct but can give them some sort of detail, because obviously this plan had some strategy behind it, otherwise it wouldn't have been successful. So I believe this theory is still open, where it could be magic or a human. Let me know what you think in the comments of how they got this knowledge to do this surprise attack. But now that I mentioned Dante, let me explain the plan he has with the arcane mages to unlock the Clover Tree of Death to bring the other devils to this world that he confirmed to Yami. As you know, I've been yapping on about this theory since chapter 230. It's been a few months and this theory actually ended up coming true. I mentioned sacrifices of some sort in that theory a long time ago, but let's go into detail. Alright, we know that Dante plans to use arcane mages Yami and William to open up the Tree of Death to invite the devils into this world, right? However, Dante and the rest of the Triad seem to be interested in other arcane mages as well. In chapter 241 and chapter 244, Dante expressed interest in kidnapping Vanessa, Gray and Asta. Vanica in chapter 239 expressed joy when arriving at the Heart Kingdom because she said it's more fun than running errands like collecting arcane mages. Now, what the hell do they plan to do with all these arcane mages exactly? Only Yami and William are needed for the Tree of Death, so why are they capturing all of these arcane mages and these people if they don't want them dead? It's also dangerous to keep around these people who have arcane magic because arcane magic works against devils, which they are. The only reasonable conclusion is this: sacrifices. Yes, you heard that right. Dante plans to sacrifice all the remaining arcanes. But why? Well, we know in chapter 214, Julius said that humans who venture too far into the devil world have to pay a price for their power. Dorothy again confirms this in chapter 222 and says people must make a sacrifice to use forbidden magic. This also relates back to the Kabbalah, black magic and grimoire concept that Tabata has been inspired from. Now, in the lore that Tabata is inspired from, the Tree of Death and the Tree of Life must coexist together or reality will collapse in on itself as they balance each other out. The Tree of Life Lost Saga with the elves is destroyed since all the apostles died, so wouldn't activating the tree be catastrophic? Plus, isn't it a form of forbidden magic? Using arcane power to unlock the Tree of the Nine Realms to bring devils into the world is surely forbidden magic, and this can breed a catastrophic outcome, so logically a sacrifice would have to be made, right? Remember Gordon's sister gave Gray that Berserk Easter egg at Gordon's house? And we know Black Clover is heavily inspired by Berserk and Tabata wanted to make a shonen manga just like it. Anyway, that Easter egg and necklace is called Behelit, and in Berserk they allow one to make a sacrifice, which is what the main villain uses to spark the eclipse. Since Dante came in like a Chad to snatch up Gray and Vanessa, he can take the Behelit from her to perform the sacrifice of the remaining arcanes, or maybe it's something else where Tabata is just foreshadowing this fact of the theory. In addition, we know in chapter 223, Gordon's grandmother revealed that they have dealings with Majukla in the past and a contract. We know Dante rules over the Spade army, so we can assume he assigned the soldiers devils as the vessel for the Demon King. This is a possibility. All of this stuff is linked together, so this is just evidence it seems that Dante is planning to sacrifice the arcane mages in some sort of way or use them for Lucifer's greater plan, as he himself must be getting manipulated. I don't see why Lucifer the Demon King is obeying a human, it's the other way around. Moving on, let's continue with chapter 250 explaining the insane power up of time skip Charmy as she uses her dwarf sight. So this chapter starts off with a female dark disciple who has hair magic and she's terrorizing the Heart citizens. And we must all know by now that Tabata really knows how to draw female characters, man.
Give your meat a good old rub. Yeah, boy.
Charmy steps in to stop her as her gag is in full display this chapter about food. The dark disciple calls Charmy an unsightly pig and attacks her with her damaging hair magic that she claims is enhanced with the devil's power. And of course, our girl Charmy busts out that sexy adult form, I must say. Oh shit, is FBI open up? Let me check that age. Oh yes, she's 19. It checks out, guys. No more FBI. Anyway, Charmy busts out this adult form and uses that insane rune magic magic that she has learned with her biggest spell to harm the disciple, which literally, and I mean literally, cooks her so that her wolf can eat her up. It's ridiculously overpowered. I think Charmy deals with a dark disciple the quickest and easiest out of everyone that we have seen so far, even faster than Yuno with no struggling. She literally ora 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 after eating her alive, and that's a mother JoJo reference, fam.
拳で殴るか当ててみな右でやってくれ No 左 No 両方ですか Yes 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 yes
I mean, we have to remember Charmy in her wolf dwarf form soloed Rill, a captain of a squad who was possessed by an elf. She alone is broken as hell that could be vice captain level or more in the power scaling. Tabata even made her more dummy thick in this form.
Extra thin!
Interestingly, the disciple notes to herself about Charmy's transformation and says she doesn't have the devil's power, but this. And remember, we concluded that the Spade army researched the elves to conduct their ultimate plan of the Tree of Death in the Who is the Anti-Magic Devil Theory series that you need to watch if you haven't. If you remember, the Black Clover spy in the Spade Nation found the Tree of Life research, and they're doing something about that. Also, didn't Lumiere, the first Wizard King, say elves and dwarves lived in harmony? And that was 500 years ago where he said that, so it must have been at least 1500 years ago to 2000, because we know the water spirit Udine has had this contract with her for 1000 years, and they don't mention dwarves or any other races yet, so I'm kind of confused. Why are people hiding so much information? Anyway, Lyra, who possessed Rill when they were fighting Charmy, says that the power to rival elves, so why doesn't the Spade army have some knowledge on the other races that coexisted if they researched it, right? These are all questions that we have. Dwarves must be seriously OP if the elves are saying that, and elves are worshipped like gods, so were dwarves worshipped as gods too? Anyway, this is how all got me thinking we need to learn Charmy's origin. We might learn it in this arc or the next one, and as we all know, the Black Bulls are outcasts that have tragic stories behind them due to their circumstances of how corrupt society treated them. Maybe Tabata plans to give a reason as to why she lost her dwarf memories to the past event, because Charmy doesn't even know she's half dwarf. She don't even care, fam. Anyways, everyone, that's all you need to know to be up to date. Remember to buy that Asta merch, follow us on Twitter or Instagram, and join the Discord to go balls deep, and I'll see you guys next time.